First thing that came out of JR's mouth. I caught you on the exhale. And I said, call me on the exhale is crazy. He said, so what you thinking? I think I don't give a damn. And he came, and it was like, then this entire 3 hours for real, what it turned into was a lecture. And then I was pretty much asked, like, okay, well, why do you feel like it's a lecture? Like, jump in there where you disagree. It's not necessarily whether or not I disagree on the point. It's that a man thought it was his place to come and teach me something. I don't need to be taught anything outside of what my husband wants me to know. That's where I'm starting to get irritated. I'm starting to get irritated because what I notice about so many men across the internet in general is like, let me teach you how to be somebody that's going to get chosen. And if you say you already are chosen, that's not good enough because you don't qualify for me to choose you. But I didn't ask you to choose me. I didn't ask you what you thought a wife needed to be. I didn't ask you shit.
So for me, if at the end of this conversation, when we're done this tonight, Lashia, is it Lashia or Lashia? Lashia, sorry. If Lashia has a slightly positive, better attitude towards me than she did a week ago, then I did my job, you know? But even if she doesn't, did I plant the seeds for her to be at least intellectually curious to explore it beyond this conversation? That's the goal.
Did you think I was going to change my mind? Is that what, like, people thought that I was going to, like, change my mind? As I said what I said.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
I would, but I'm not like I said last week, I'm not marching in the streets. I'm not putting in this massive effort for it.
The thing is that you basically just told us you don't give a shit. And you heard all that man spoke for at least 5 straight minutes.
Yes.
And you listened to all that, and all you took away from it was passport bros. So you didn't hear none of the issues. I was tired of
that. I was tired of hearing about feminist means we need everything to be equal.
Slow down. All the stuff he mentioned that men go through. Mm-hmm. All the issues that men go through. And all you heard was passport bros.
No, what I heard was him talking about it to women. What does he want us to do about it? If he's saying men are going through it, then get your brothers together and make a manist movement. I don't.
So if that's the case, then why do y'all come to us about y'all issues? If we can't come to the women that we supposed to rock with and talk to them about the things that affect us in real time, in real life, you talk about the 80%, the stuff that he was talking about that men go through is the 80%. That's what men go through every single day. And if we can't come to you as who's supposed to be our counterpart, who's supposed to be the person that walks this road with us and talk to you about the things that we go through in life, then what fucking use are y'all?
I actually felt the pain in Sweeney's voice when he was responding, man. But it's a week later. I just wanted to kind of get how you feeling about looking at that, Lashia. I mean, do you have a change of heart? You still stand 10 toes down on what you said? What's going on? What are your thoughts, man?
Is that what, like, people thought that I was gonna, like, change my mind? As I said what I said.
Every stylish guy knows what takes an outfit from good to great is the attention to detail. And nothing completes a look like the right belt. You know what ruins a great outfit fast? A worn out belt that doesn't fit right. Most guys are still rocking belts with stretched out holes that either pinch your waist or sag and throw off the whole look. That's why I'm excited to partner with today's sponsor, Anson Belt & Buckle. This family-run company has been around since 2009 and they've completely reimagined how belts should work. Instead of holes, Anson Belt uses a micro-adjustable track system with 1/4-inch increments. That means you get the perfect fit every single time. And once you feel that kind of comfort and precision, you'll never want to wear a traditional belt again. The best part, you can mix and match every buckle with any strap. One box set gives you 9 different belt combos, so you'll get to maximize versatility with way less clutter in your closet. But this isn't just about style, it's about feeling more comfortable, more confident, and more put together every time you get dressed. Anson Belt moves with you, so whether you're sitting, standing, or on the go, you're always comfortable and always looking sharp. I've been wearing mine nonstop, and honestly, it's the best belt I've ever owned. Once you try it, you will see exactly what I mean. You won't go back. And here's why you can trust them. They're still proudly family owned. They've earned over 40,000 five-star reviews, and every belt is backed by a lifetime guarantee on functionality. They stand behind every product they make, and once you try one, you'll understand why. And because Anson Belt and Buckle is sponsoring today's video, when you click the link in the description or scan this QR code to build a box set, you'll get 2 bonus pieces, a buckle and a strap completely free. That's 3 buckles and 3 straps, which you can mix and match into 9 unique belt combos all in one box. It's an exclusive deal you won't get anywhere else, so click the link, build your set, and upgrade your belt game today.
Change my mind. As I said what I said. I was tired last week. I'm tired this week.
Period.
All right. Well, with that being said, I just wanted to see how you felt, man. That was last week. Man. A lot of people had a lot to say. Lashia obviously doesn't have a change of heart. She's standing 10 toes down. Let me get some of the other folks involved with the conversation. Also, factor in what Jeff said as well during the timer. Bo, what are your thoughts about what Jeff said and the response, if you want to add on to it?
I saw that clip a little while ago, and I don't deal in like invalidating men's experiences because I'm not a man. I can't do that. But what I was concerned about was the charge that was made about women not caring. And I think that we have to be very careful about telling people who they care about and what they care about, especially when we see every day that women care about everybody, everyone, because us being nurturers say that we have to care about everyone's well-being. We have to be in service of everyone. Do some women do it more than others? And are some women incompetent about it? Sure, why not? But as a whole, the culture says that women are to be nurturers. So of course we care about that. Now, I think that women have cared less about it here lately, mostly just because we can't care if men don't. And sometimes as a woman, it comes across as men don't care, even about their own well-being and safety. And so we can't care for you. If you don't want to express your feelings, if you do not want to deal with your feelings, if you do not want to do the things that you need to do to be mentally well, then we can't do it for you. And also, we throw around this word feminine. We want women to be more feminine. And I'm not going to be soft with you if you're some man off the street. It is unreal. It is not realistic to expect softness from a woman if she don't know who you are. Just like it is unrealistic to expect a certain level of protection from a man if he doesn't know you. They go hand in hand. So we have to stop playing like women are not these soft feminine beings. I'm just not like that with you because I don't know you. And I don't have to know you. You don't have to know me. And I don't owe you my femininity. And you don't owe me protection. It'd be nice, but it's not realistic to require that from men. Just like it's not realistic to require femininity from women. If in fact you want femininity from that woman, then you need to be a man that demands it. And not through words, but just by your integrity and your character. That is how we save these relationships. If you are the man, you are going to command and demand it from that woman. Cause I'm gonna tell you, y'all hear me saying all this rah-rah stuff and all of this, you know what I'm saying, independent stuff. But I can guarantee you when a man comes and he commands that softness and that femininity, oh, I'm a little quiet, little church mouse, little girl. And I'm going to cower down and I am going to be like, yep, you are the man. And I think that we need to think about those things. Women are not walking around here smiling at you, asking you, can we fix you a plate? I don't know you. So that's unrealistic to demand of women, just some man off the street.
All right, I appreciate your transparency there, Bo. I want to make sure we have a real discussion tonight, man. Let's really unpack this. So let's just make sure we're attacking the arguments, man, so we can actually see if we can get somewhere with it. Jasmine, I know you saw both clips. Maybe the first clip was your first time, but what are your thoughts?
Just from what I gathered from the back end of the clip, it seems as though they were talking about masculinity, not masculinity, but men being feminist in a sense. And I want to make sure I wasn't missing the wrong thing. It was a lot in the clip, but overall, I feel like men don't go through as much as women go through, though they do have their own set of problems, their own things that they're up against. So I feel like I am a little bit of a feminist and I do practice masculism as well, just because I want fair for my brothers and my uncles, like my dad. Like, I want them to still have autonomy. Like, I don't believe on a woman hitting on a man, just like I don't want the man hitting on the woman. Or if say if a woman gets pregnant by one of my brothers, like he should still have say in whether they have the baby or not. Like if they both participated in making it. So, I want them to both still have everyone to still have the same rights as such. But men can't act as though it's balanced, like it's just like that they have the same amount of problems as women. Like there's not people out here making laws about their bodies like they are with women and shutting down programs for us and things that we actually need to function, or policing how we dress and all these different things. Like those things aren't happening, but they do have mental health issues that they do need to address. And I do agree with what Bo said when she said, like, we can't, want it more for you. You have to want it for yourself. There's a lot of men that don't talk. They don't open up. They don't express. And it's hard to get through that outer shell if you don't say anything. Like we can't force it out of you. So I don't know. What's that?
Jasmine,
Yes,
what do men go through?
a lot. Like, where do you, like, in what space? Like, you have to be specific.
In the world, I mean, I'm sure if I asked you what do women go through, you would probably be able to rattle off a list of things for me.
Oh yeah,
So
because I'm a
off the
woman.
top of the head, what do men go through?
I would say I'm gonna speak for Black men in general, just because I only kind of interact with them. Discrimination in workplace and just going out to buy groceries. Somebody could think they're about to rob them or do something to them. Like they just can't exist peacefully in a lot of spaces. They feel like they can't be emotional or sad about things because they feel like they just have to be super tough and take it on the chin for everything, so they can't really hurt or be vulnerable without feeling like they're going to get clowned or called gay or something.
Jeff, can you tell her what men go through?
I will, but I actually wanted to give the entire panel an opportunity to speak, just to make sure I got a really well-rounded perspective on where everybody stands.
Wait, why are you gonna ride his coattail? Why don't you just go ahead and tell her?
No, I'm just
No,
going.
I'll let the professional say something.
Say it, Sweeney. Go ahead. You
Go ahead,
engage with Jasmine. Go ahead and tell her what men go through, Sweeney.
You know what's interesting? Y'all only bring up the things that y'all believe that we go through at the hands of other men, as if we don't experience y'all in a negative way.
I didn't say
Everything that you, I just said it's interesting that that's what you brought up. You
I
brought up
said
the things that we,
men too.
but we experience y'all in a negative way as well.
Of course.
We experience parental alienation. We experience problematic women when it comes to custody issues. We experience postpartum depression when it comes to, you know what I mean? We experience depression in general. We experience being afraid to be falsely accused.
Mhm.
We experience emotional abuse, a lot of times physical abuse, because when you talk about within relationship dynamics, when you talk about a lot of the times women initiate the violence in the relationship. We experience being gaslit, dog whistle,
Mhm.
and these are all things that y'all do to us on top of the things we experience in the world. So how is it that you can say, oh, men experience stuff, but they don't experience nearly as much as what women experience? You know what? You know what's crazy? Y'all are talking about us rolling back laws for y'all, and the only one that y'all pretty much mention is the AB law. But we can't even, the thing is that we're fighting to even get laws put on the book that protect us. And that's
If
kind
we
of the
make
thing.
most of the
And
laws,
you'll
we're
notice
the ones making the laws, though. We barely get to the foot.
we're not the ones making the laws. Some people are making the laws. And as of right now, a lot of the laws are slanted in women's favor, especially when it comes to men and women dynamics. Well, if you want to talk about the world, okay, but when you talk about men and women dynamics, a lot of the laws that we have issues with are things that we have an issue with when it comes to y'all, or our fair shake, and when it comes to how we should be treated within our families, within our communities, the protection we should have. And those aren't even on the books yet. Are we starting to change those? Yes. You're starting to see a lot more men win custody battles. You're starting to see a lot of laws change in certain counties and certain states. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. But before, there was none. And it might have been because we might have overcorrected when women complained. Because when y'all complained, men said, okay, we see y'all going through some shit over here. Let's put some laws on the book to make sure that we protect y'all. Is it perfect? No, but we acknowledged and we addressed it. Violence Against Women Protection Act. The child support laws were literally came from women saying, hey, look, we're tired of men leaving us and not taking care of their children. Y'all wanting the right to vote. Men said okay.
The fact that we didn't even have it at first is crazy.
It doesn't matter because y'all got it now. We're talking about things that's happening right now, not what happened 40, 50 years ago.
Right now,
What's happening right now?
but right now for beating her husband. So there is laws in place that will handle women that are out here acting crazy. Like they're still like you just have to be reprimanded, but the man has to also speak up. There's a lot of men that don't
Do you
speak
know
up.
how many men actually do speak up and they still wind up being the ones getting taken to jail?
Yes.
Or they get laughed out of the precinct?
I'm
Even
not
so,
Or
talking
just
about
because she said tears, that they look at him and say, "Oh, you must have been," and they ain't got. There was one guy, if it wasn't for the eyewitness, he was going to jail. And she was the one beating him upside his head through the car window with his phone and everything else. And if it wasn't for the eyewitness, her tears would have sent him to jail. And oftentimes there's no eyewitness to protect men. So even when they're being abused in their households, even when they're being harmed by their women, there's nobody there to protect them.
that
Well,
is
let me try to interrupt it. One of the points you made about the fact that child support laws wasn't even there was shocking, right, Jasmine? Like they should have been in there in the first place, right? But a large reason why they were introduced because initially those laws didn't compensate for women who wanted to be promiscuous, or men who wanted to be promiscuous, or couples who wanted to create children out of wedlock. Those laws were initially set up for marriages, but they didn't compensate for people being reckless and having kids out of wedlock. So they had to create these laws. Because when you got out of a marriage, traditionally or initially, then those laws would cover that. So they had to create these other laws as women were like, well, dang, Joe down the street knocked me up. Shouldn't he be on child support? Okay, so now they got to spread it out for people who weren't doing it the traditional way or the moral way. Now you understand why they weren't there?
agree. I feel like there should be some women on child support. So I'm not
But,
I'm
I-
not
but if you
disagreeing
look
with
at, but if you just look at that concept, just see how it creates a trend whenever we start bending the laws or expanding the laws to compensate for people just want to act immoral or just do whatever the hell they want. And we are at nearly, one could argue that we're at a Sodom and Gomorrah type society now because of all of the pushing. Let's push for this. Let's push for it because we feel like this is what should be right. But the end result is not even uh, supporting that is the actual way to go. The end result is we living in a disastrous type society. We got the most technology, the most resources, the most wealth. Everybody is completely free in this country, but we are the worst, I think, in parenting, dual parent households, and all these other things. It's because of the push, because of I feel like this is right. And I'll yield. I don't want to stay on this too long.
I wanted to jump in and give a different perspective because I actually agree with him and what he stated in the video. And I do think that Lashia made his point that most women, especially in Western civilization, do not care about the welfare of men or what they're dealing with. And we don't even acknowledge it, right? Like we've come to this time in space and society where we only think about our needs. Let's take something as small as paternity of a child. A woman can say that a child is a man's, right? Put his name on a birth certificate, and he's automatically obligated to take care of that child. A man could ask for a DNA test. They don't necessarily have to give it to him. And let's say down the line he gets it and finds out that that child is not his after he paid child support for the last 10 years, 15 years, however long. The courts, the way they're set up right now, they won't even, for me, I feel like, for one, the woman should go to jail, right? Or at least owe all of that money back. Because now you've stolen all of this man's money. You've broken the household. You've created some type of mental trauma, not only for that man, but also for this child. And the only person in that situation that knew exactly who the parent would be the woman, right? Because it's mama's baby, daddy's baby. But the laws are not set up on behalf of men. And I feel like it's, extremely negligent of us as women who say we are the nurturers, we are the carers, we are the ones that care about society and how our children grow up to totally negate the experience of what men are going through. There are laws in place for us. Now we can walk around, you can go around with almost no clothes on and you should still feel protected walking down the street, but a man that's actually screaming out and feeling like he's not, right? He's dealing with this trauma. He's dealing with these financial issues because he has to take care of children that might not be his, or dealing with everything else that goes on with life. We turn around and we tell them, that's your problem. Deal with it.
And I can tell you what, when I listen to Ask a Brother, I think it's St. James or something like that. When I listened to you talk to those women, I saw a man who was passionate about being accurate and saying what needs to be said. You probably said it 1,000 times, but it finally fell on the right ears. But it's something I think most of the guys on this panel can argue that we probably fucking wrote a book on that over and over on this particular show right here. But we understand, and you sounded like you understood as well, that whenever you spoke to those women and they listened to you, what happened was an exchange from two groups of people that had been exposed to different realities. And when I say different realities, and this allowed me to understand people like that, those women that you spoke to, they have a different algorithm. They have a different thing they ingest and digest every day. So I'm able to understand that some of the things that I digest and ingest is different as well. Because if you look back in time before algorithms or the internet, we lived in a newspaper type society where everybody who got the same newspaper believed in the same things for the most part. We read the same headlines. the same jargon or the same slander was on a particular political figure. We all went that way. Now your algorithm is curated for
What you're
you.
interested in.
For you, we can be in the same house. My wife can have a different algorithm that'll position her against my ideology. And that's what we deal with sometimes when we come together. But what happens is you have to figure out how to look at the results of all of the matters that you talk about. What are the results? What's happening? Is it destruction? Is it success? And I think what you did was showcase that you were on the side of success, but you were speaking to the destruction that was happening and asking the women, hey, look, open up your lens. Don't just focus in and lock in on what's in your reality. Sometimes you gotta maybe create, like sometimes I create a burner account and I follow all the damn feminists and panders. That's how I make up a lot of my content. I create a burner account. I follow all the Derek Jacksons and some GQ Perry dude. Y'all know who that dude is. All the sexy panders and stuff. And I get the algorithm so I know what reality they're living in. And it is.
How you judging if they sexy or not?
How do I judge if they sexy? Well, I'm an image consultant, so I can acknowledge flattering features in both sexes. I studied it, so it doesn't intersect with my own personal preference. Nice try, I'm white. But anyways, man, let me just go ahead and pass the mic because he just derailed my whole point. Soliloquy. Y'all go ahead.
Okay, so I did have an opportunity to look at the video, and I will say a lot of the things, if I take myself out of what's going on today and I listen to what you're saying, I agree with a lot of things that you're saying. I think that people don't overlook these things intentionally. It's almost like that quote, you got 99 problems until your health comes. If something happens to your health, now you only got one, right? I think the problem is people are so engaged with their own problems. They don't have time to think about other people's problems, because I would say that there are probably men who don't have these issues and they could care less, right? It's men who are getting women and they don't know that there are guys who are going through this. Let's just say you're married, you guys are Christian, you don't cheat on each other. They may care less about a guy getting a paternity test. You understand? So I don't think it's just women not caring about men, right? I think it's a human thing. Humans have a tendency to only care about the things that directly affect them. And so I think that that's one of the things I disagreed about. I agree with, oh, God, I got my glasses on. Young lady with the red on. I agree with her. As far as the paternity test was concerned, I mean, I know this is digging deep into what you were saying, but as far as the paternity test is concerned, I agree with that. So I don't agree that it should be mandatory to have paternity tests. I think that, but I think it should be suggested. I think it should be highly recommended that men get a paternity test, $75. Because my thing is, who's going to pay for that? You know what I'm saying? Is it going to be taxpayer money? Is it going to be your insurance that's going to pay it when you could just go and take a test? But I do, like she said, believe that there should be a consequence. I think that that's the better solution. Saying, hey, if you commit fraud against somebody, whether you falsely accuse them of essaying you, or if you falsely accuse them of being the father of your child, knowingly, knowing this man was not the father, I feel like you should be criminally charged like any other fraud, right? So, and that to me will take care of that issue. And I can't remember, I mean, you have so much to say. But I do agree with most of the things that you were saying. But I think that it's not coming from, we just don't care about men. I think it's that we have so many things we do have to care about that are right in front of us, that we can't, if it's not directly affecting us, it's kind of hard to be like, okay, we're on these panels and we're talking about it. So now you're bringing it to my attention like, oh, wow. But what if these panels didn't exist? I wouldn't have known that these things were going on. You got to have that discussion. Because it can easily go past people, right? And I think that what is happening in the young lady who spoke last week, I think that she likes men. I would assume that she cares a lot about men. But unfortunately, Jeff, in these spaces, women have been, let me just say this, and it's not your fault.
it's always, it's almost like this. Let me get my point. Everybody wants to be heard, but nobody wants to listen, right? So unfortunately, in these spaces, we do a lot of talking about what women don't do, and we never talk about and what men don't do. And what happens is it feels like you want me to understand you, but you don't want to understand me. And unfortunately, there's a backlash. Like now you're just mad and I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. But in honest, if we can just be honest with each other, let this person vent and we hear them, we really understand where they're coming from. And they do the same. We have an understanding of why we feel this way about each other so that we can really come up with a solution. But again, I heard everything that you had to say. I agree with you. I wish we can point them out, like, because it was a lot, you know, each book, each thing that you had to say, I agree. And I hate that that's going on. You know, there is something I could do about that, you know, how do we get this law passed? I'm on board with that. But
Check.
yes.
Why are you speaking as if it's a problem that just came out? You said come up with a solution.
Mm-hmm.
What if it's just destroying something that didn't need to be destroyed, creating a problem? And all you have to
what
do
do you
is,
mean by that? Can you be more specific?
for like sort of like just undoing the destruction. The problem was already solved. Like all of our problems were solved years ago. So you're saying come up with a solution.
The solution is already there. We just need to go back.
Just have to undo all the bullshit that we created.
No, I agree with that. Like when we get further along, y'all, you know, I agree. And I know you said something about happy wife, happy life. We ain't wise. Most Black women are not wise. Yes, a few of us are. We're not. We ride the eyes and we got your backs. But
because what it sounds like,
never make it to the finish line, you know. But that's neither here nor there.
Because if you use the paternity fraud issue,
sure.
The way you're framing it sounds like, okay, women are out here just putting anybody on a birth certificate. And
no, that's what I was just saying.
Well, let me just finish the point. Sure. It's just what it sounds like. This is an example of what it sounds like. Women are out here putting any name on just name dropping people on a birth certificate, and men are just coming up on summons and notices that they got to go take a DNA test, and if they don't, they're gonna have to pay arrears. Mm-hmm. And then the argument or the yell out is we need to come up with a solution for these deadbeats or for these men that are getting falsely accused of of paternity or whatever, ended up taking care of a child or going to jail. Just stop fucking doing what you're doing.
When you stop doing what you're doing, spell it out, because you're saying it like we understand.
Stop just name dropping names. We had an argument a long time. I don't want to revisit it because it was long, but I'm just saying, like, some of the stuff you just have to just stop doing.
So let me ask you.
And the reason why a lot of women are not doing it is because it's an incentive behind the exploit. They can exploit without any consequences, and it's incentivized.
So people we know that there are bad people in the world who do things they're not supposed to do, right? And that's the reason why I said there should be a consequence to those people. This is not every woman. This ain't normal crap that's going on that women just out here picking a baby daddy. You understand? Yes, it happens, but it's not the majority. But what I'm saying to you is my solution to that would be it should be fraud like anything else.
What if I told you that there's research and statistics to back that a woman more often than not will choose the man of higher status if she's having sex with multiple men and she knows that the man that she's with or the man she's in a relationship with, probably the one who got her pregnant during her ovulation period, she would still want or even choose the man of higher status to be her baby father.
I understand what you're saying. So are you not liking my consequence of it should be a criminal charge, or is that what you're saying? I'm confused that we're not on the same page.
He's saying that the woman shouldn't do it to begin with. She shouldn't decide to just pick that man knowing that there are multiple partners. But
some people need a consequence. People do things all the time until they get a consequence. And then if you put consequence, let me just say, if you put consequences in law, trust me,
I agree.
Will stop.
Here's the problem, Shane.
The consequence.
I agree, but I think it should be mandatory paternity tests. You don't have to worry about that, whether you're married or not.
Who would pay for that?
All right. Well, I'm glad you asked that question. Hold on, wait. I'm glad you asked that question. How much do the average childbirth cost?
If you 25, 25 to 30.
All right.
About 10,000.
Wait.
Y'all go back and forth. I gotta let everybody else speak.
I know. I want to get you, but I wanted to make sure we did. I know this point home because she did ask who's supposed to pay for it. How are these childbirths mostly paid for?
Through insurance.
So, hold on, wait. Okay. So about roughly 59% of them are paid through private insurance. 41% are paid through Medicaid. Are you telling me that it'll be a problem to add a paternity test to childbirth?
I have a question. For you. So co-pays cost $45, right? So it depends on your insurance. Are you telling me for a man, a paternity test is $75? If you tell women to protect themselves by going to get a pill, you tell them protect themselves in any, I'm just saying, and all you have to do is if you have a doubt and you have a problem with your child, you feel like this woman is playing you, or you feel like there are tests on Amazon that will come with Prime. Listen to what I'm saying. The next day listen, $75. So you saying as a man, that's too much for you to do, to go grab a $75 test and swab your child's mouth. It won't even hurt. She doesn't even have to know, just for the safety of your own.
Shan, why can't we just cover that base at the beginning and throw it in there with the same bill as the private insurance or the insurance that we already use? Why can't you just lump it all in? And why do you always, like, your bill gets to be passed on to your insurance and to Medicaid, but when it comes to just finding out the paternity of the child, now you want to say, let's put that on the man that wants the paternity test, rather than just finding out at the beginning, hey, who's the parents of this child? Let's get that out the way. That way we don't have to worry about paternity fraud no more. It's already nailed in the ground. But JR's in the back. Hold on, JR's in the back. He's been telling us to get Jeff in there. So let's go ahead.
Hey, Jeff, interrupt when you want to, because we don't want to force you in whenever you ain't got nothing to say, but just pause. But just go ahead and interrupt whenever you need to.
I just wanted to ask a quick question. Can it not be requested? Like, is that something that, like, we can't put in the birth, like, bill? Is that what the men are saying?
No,
that even if y'all requested it to be a part of the birth bill, the hospital is saying no?
They actually ask you before you sign the birth certificate. They're like, do you want to get, well, in my state anyway, they ask you before you sign the birth certificate, do you want to take a paternity test?
Okay, so what are we actually complaining about?
That's not in every state.
That men don't want to offend the women.
That's in my
the United States.
I don't know.
That's not across the board.
So you're making it an issue that you don't want to offend a woman? Not that you can't do it, but that you don't want to be offensive?
Let Jeff go.
Just let him go. I don't understand it either, but maybe I'm just.
Of course y'all don't. Of course y'all don't.
Okay.
It's not y'all issue. That's why y'all don't give a fuck.
No, we do care.
No, y'all don't care.
I just gave you a consequence. So that's not being fair.
Shan, don't speak for me.
After the problem. Why don't we have to wait till after the problem?
I acknowledge that it was a problem.
Shan, don't speak for me. Shan, don't speak for me.
I'm talking about me.
Go ahead.
You care.
There was a problem, and I said that it was a problem because I don't have the solution that you have there to the same problem that we both acknowledge is a problem. Now, me saying that acknowledging it as a problem is now a problem. Like, I don't understand.